The Panama Canal is an incredible feat of engineering. It slices through the Isthmus of Panama, connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. This 50-mile waterway is a vital artery for global trade. Ships carrying goods from all corners of the world rely on the Panama Canal. It saves them a long and treacherous journey around the tip of South America. For the United States, the Panama Canal is particularly crucial. It handles a significant portion of U.S. cargo traffic. This includes goods shipped from the East Coast to Asia and vice versa. The importance of the Panama Canal is not just about economics, it also has major strategic implications. The U.S. Navy, for instance, uses the canal for quick deployment between the Atlantic and Pacific fleets. This ability to move warships rapidly is essential for maintaining U.S. global presence and responding to crises. Over the years, the Panama Canal has come to symbolize the interconnectedness of the world. It is a reminder that events in one part of the globe can have ripple effects far away. In 2024, tensions began to rise around the Panama Canal. Former US President Donald Trump, known for his assertive foreign policy, turned his attention towards the waterway. Trump believed that the United States should leverage its influence over the canal. After all, it was a project largely spearheaded by the US in the early 20th century. He argued that the Panama Canal was vital for American interests. He also expressed concerns about the increasing influence of China in Panama. Trump's administration began to apply pressure on Panama. They questioned the fees charged for ships passing through the canal, suggesting they were excessive. There were also murmurs about renegotiating the treaties that governed the canal's operation. These treaties, signed in the 1970s, granted Panama full control of the waterway by the year 2000. Trump, however, hinted at the possibility of revisiting these agreements. His stance created unease in Panama and sent ripples through the international community. Tensions escalated further in early 2025 when Trump made a bold demand. He called for free passage for all US ships through the Panama Canal. Trump argued that the United States had been instrumental in the canal's creation. He also cited the importance of the canal for US trade and security. This demand, however, was met with immediate pushback from both Panama and the international community. Panama asserted its sovereignty over the canal, emphasizing that it was not for sale or subject to the whims of any one nation. International legal experts pointed out that Trump's demand violated existing treaties. These treaties clearly outlined the terms of use for the Panama Canal, guaranteeing equal treatment for all nations. Trump's call for free passage was seen as an attempt to exert unilateral control over a strategically important waterway. This move raised concerns about potential violations of international law. It also fueled fears of a return to a more interventionist US foreign policy. China, a rising global power with growing interests in Latin America, was quick to condemn Trump's actions. The Chinese government accused the United States of employing bullying tactics and interfering in the internal affairs of Panama. A spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, Luo Shiding, stated that the Panama Canal was an important international waterway. He emphasized that it should be governed by international law, not by the dictates of any single country. China's stance on the issue resonated with many countries, particularly in the developing world. These nations viewed Trump's actions as a blatant attempt to assert US dominance and undermine the sovereignty of smaller nations. The Panama Canal dispute became a focal point in the broader geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China. It highlighted the growing tensions between the two superpowers on the global stage. Section 5. Trade wars' toll impact on the canal. Adding to the complexities of the situation was the ongoing trade war between the United States and China. The trade war, which began in 2018 under the Trump administration, had already significantly impacted global trade. It led to tariffs, trade barriers, and economic uncertainty. The dispute over the Panama Canal further exacerbated these tensions. The trade war had a direct impact on the canal's revenue. As tariffs and trade barriers increased, the volume of goods shipped between the US and China decreased. This decrease in shipping traffic translated into lower toll collections for the Panama Canal Authority. The canal's revenue streams were affected, raising concerns about its long-term financial stability. The Panama Canal Authority, responsible for the canal's management and operation, found itself caught in the crosshairs of the US-China rivalry. The authority had to navigate the delicate balance of maintaining good relations with both superpowers while protecting Panama's interests. Section 6. Diplomatic maneuvers, US engagement with Panama. In an effort to address the escalating situation, the United States engaged in diplomatic efforts with Panama. Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, visited Panama City to meet with Panamanian officials. Rubio emphasized the long-standing ties between the US and Panama. He reiterated the United States' commitment to respecting Panama's sovereignty over the canal. However, he also underscored the importance of the canal for US interests and called for a collaborative approach to ensure its security and continued operation. Rubio's visit was part of a broader diplomatic effort by the US to reassure its allies in Latin America. The Trump administration's assertive stance on the Panama Canal had caused concern among US partners in the region. They worried that the US might be willing to disregard international norms to pursue its interests. The US sought to alleviate these anxieties and reaffirm its commitment to its regional partnerships. Section 7. China's scrutiny, port sales under review. As the US engaged in diplomatic efforts, China was also making strategic moves related to the Panama Canal. In 2025, Chinese authorities began scrutinizing a proposed sale of Panamanian ports to a consortium led by BlackRock Inc., an American multinational investment management corporation. This scrutiny was particularly focused on two ports located at either end of the Panama Canal. These ports were strategically important, controlling access to the waterway. The Chinese government, through its state-owned enterprises, had expressed interest in acquiring these ports in the past. However, they were outbid by the BlackRock consortium. The Chinese government's decision to review the sale raised eyebrows in Washington and fueled speculation about China's motives. Some analysts believed that China was trying to delay or derail the sale. They speculated that China might be hoping to eventually gain control of these strategic ports, giving them a stronger foothold in the Panama Canal. Section 8. Strategic significance canals as global choke points. The Panama Canal, along with the Suez Canal, represents a critical choke point in global trade. These narrow waterways handle a significant portion of international maritime traffic. Their disruption would have severe consequences for the global economy. The Panama Canal in particular is crucial for the United States. It facilitates the movement of goods between the east coast of the US and Asia. The canal also plays a vital role in US military logistics, allowing for the rapid deployment of naval forces between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The strategic importance of these canals has made them a focal point of geopolitical competition. Major powers recognize the leverage that control over these waterways provides. They're keen to secure their interests and limit the influence of their rivals. Section 9. Geopolitical chess game, US and China vying for influence. The dispute over the Panama Canal highlighted the intensifying geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China. This rivalry extends across multiple domains, including economics, technology, military, and diplomacy. The two superpowers are vying for global influence. They are each seeking to shape the international order in their favor. The Panama Canal, with its strategic importance, became a pawn in this high-stakes chess game. The United States, long accustomed to being the dominant power in the Western Hemisphere, views China's growing influence in Latin America with wariness. The US is concerned that China's economic and diplomatic inroads could undermine US interests and erode its regional influence. China, on the other hand, sees its engagement with Latin America as part of its broader strategy of expanding its global footprint and promoting its development model.